vertical is not a training method. But of course there are basics and there is a goal. So everybody wants to arrive to lightness. So first, a horse that is not mobilized can never react to the rider's aids and can never flex the pelvis. Because if you have a horse that is stiff in the behind, it will also be stiff on the mouth, and the other way around. So stepping over has nothing to do with I'm running after the horse and the horse, I'm following the horse. No, I am the center and the horse moves around me. So I move the horse, not the horse move me. He has the double bridle in his mouth, but you can do the mobilization with a straight neck. You can do it on the cavesson, you can do it on the snaffle bit only. So double bridle is not a prerequisite for the mobilization. The flexion to the outside like he's doing, yeah? So he's even in flexion to the outside to give more stretch to the inside part of the horse. But this is all development that you can do. Yeah? Here, basically, I am combining flexibility and mobility already. To ask flexions to the horse, which is not only putting the head by side, so it's this hand only stabilizes the position of the head and neck, which should be the highest natural position possible. This is very important because if there is no chewing, we don't have really an effect of the flexion. So we need a lot of side movements like shoulder in, counter shoulder in, travers, renvers, half pass, whatever you want to call it, to work both sides of the horse. If both sides of the horse are responsive and flexible, I can ask the horse to put the shoulders in front of the behind. I can have contact on the rein and the horse is responsive to that contact. The problem is the misconcept of contact nowadays. Because nowadays people only say contact is I'm pulling and the horse pulls against and then it's contact. Of course we have to take away all resistances in the horse's body and mind. If no, we cannot achieve lightness. And also in our mind. Because our mind is the hell that we have inside of us. We don't put the horse's head and neck down. Of course, the horse needs to relax, so if the horse needs to relax, I give the reins and he can rest. The best position of the horse is always the natural position. So it's not this. There's a lot of excuses, but if you look at the backs of, if you walk through here, you just have to walk through this stable, and you look at the backs of the horses. In all these horses, you see the spine. So there is no muscles next to the spine. There is muscles, the horse needs muscles, but they are not developed, they are not strong. The rider is kicking with the legs and pushing with the hands, and our basic principle is hands without legs, legs without hands. Because if you use both together, you put the horse in a big pressure. What we see today, and this is what we would like to see, because a judge nowadays would say this horse is not going through the pole, is not flexing the pole. Which is not true because the horse is flexing the pole. The nose is on the vertical. The horse can only work here if it's free here. If I block this energy here, then he could never do this like that. Yeah, it would always be an artificial movement, not a natural movement. So we see here trot extension, right? The horse is already doing like this with the hoof instead of this. And the nose is behind the vertical, and this leg, the horse is almost falling over. This is a trot extension not developed by balance, but developed by force. It is not necessary to have the neck this short. It's not necessary. The contact is loose, but there is contact. The nose is on the vertical, the front leg, the horse is not falling over, and this leg is straight. There is no speed is the enemy of balance. If your instructor tells you to pull on the reins and to push with the legs at the same time and go quicker and quicker, it's bad for your horse, and your horse is going to have tendon problems. It's all about spectacle, so everybody wants to see the horse's legs flying to the sky, but nobody is wondering what it does to the health of the horse. In these times, they still had to preserve their horses. The horses they needed to last. Today, this one, or it doesn't matter which one, if it's broken with 7, we get another one. The scores are reflecting positively with that. Yeah. Because this is what the people are used to see. If somebody would go and show this, everybody would say, that's a 5. Talking to Nuno was like being able to ask Picasso, Dali, or Van Gogh personally how to draw and paint. Imagine having the privilege of talking to Picasso every day for 4 years. It changes your life so immensely, and after such encounters, you are no longer the same as before. And so I was able to talk to the Picasso of horsemanship, to this genius. Talking and being with him gave me self-confidence, peace, and serenity. Nuno was an artist who was connected to immortality and eternity, and these people can help others. I saw him and felt it. In Nuno, I recognized the light that told me, follow him. Only through devotion to life is true inner freedom possible. Horses open the way for us to get there. This is the real meaning of riding. I brought you this quote because I think this really wraps up what Manuel Jorge de Oliveira's training philosophy is.